I don't want to be involved with it, but I do respect the fact that it's going to do big numbers. It's just not boxing. And I don't think we should promote it as boxing.
Leaked footage from Gervonta Davis's training camp reveals him going toe-to-toe with heavyweight-sized sparring partners as he intensifies preparations for his upcoming fight against Jake Paul. The footage shows Tank unleashing his power against much larger opponents, demonstrating his confidence and refusal to be fazed by the size gap. Sources say his team set up these grueling sessions to toughen him up and quiet those who question his ability to stand his ground against bigger fighters. Gervonta Davis has been pushing his limits in training, taking on much bigger opponents, including heavyweights and power punchers, to refine his strength and timing. These demanding sessions highlight his confidence and fearless mindset, as he steps beyond his weight class to challenge fighters who outweigh him by a wide margin. Jake Paul has built his career on crafting matchups that spark attention and fuel controversy. His opponents aren't chosen at random. Every fight is carefully calculated to tilt in his favor while still leaving an element of uncertainty. Whether it's a gap in weight, experience, or fighting style, Jake always finds an edge that benefits him, yet keeps fans intrigued. That balance between control and risk is what makes his fights so compelling. Viewers recognize his strategy, but they also sense the genuine danger in each challenge. Every bout becomes a calculated gamble, a story of advantage meeting unpredictability, leaving fans eager to see who will seize control once the bell rings.
Guys, what's the key to having a fight that's exciting? Because when you look at one corner, you're like, that guy can't be beat. And you look at the other corner, you're like, that guy can't be beat. And they're about to fight. It just feels like Jake Paul is always picking fights where he has a massive advantage. Like now he's fighting Gervonta Davis, who's, I don't know how much smaller, but probably close to like 80 pounds smaller, which is a crazy, significant weight advantage for Jake Paul. Now, you have to also look at the other way. Gervonta has a crazy advantage over Jake Paul. He has incredible amount of skill, more years of training, and for sure, pound for pound, he would put him up the floor with Jake Paul. But this is what makes the fight exciting. Two guys fighting, and we don't know who's going to win. Guys, what's the key to having a fight that's exciting? So when you look at one corner, you're like, that guy can't be beat. And you look at the other corner, you're like, that guy can't be beat. And they're about to fight. Somebody's about to say go, and these guys got to go at it. So that's what makes a fight exciting. So this is kind of that, because if they were the same weight, none of us would tune in. We're like, this is just a punching bag for Gervonta. It doesn't make the fight exciting, but because Jake Paul is so big, so much bigger, it makes the fight exciting.
Promoter Eddie Hearn believes the upcoming clash between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul blurs a dangerous line in boxing. He argues that the sport's true essence lies in genuine competition, not in spectacle-driven events designed for publicity. To Hearn, this matchup feels more like a show masquerading as a sporting contest. The size disparity alone, he notes, makes it clear the fighters aren't competing on equal terms, Jake being naturally larger, while Gervonta comes from lighter divisions that emphasize speed and precision. Hearn cautions that when boxing leans too heavily into entertainment, it risks losing its identity as a professional sport. In his eyes, this fight is less a test of skill and more a business production built to generate views and revenue, threatening to undermine the respect boxing has earned through generations of discipline and sacrifice.
I said that there was a chance Jake would fight in November. I think, wasn't I the one that broke Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis 6 months ago or something? I knew that they'd agree that deal. I didn't know they were about to announce it then. But I did know that they'd agreed that deal previously. So I don't like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show, it's entertainment, it's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, with, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per hour, I don't know what it is, but I understand the market, and I understand this freak show shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, but it did massive numbers. I hate Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis. It'll probably do massive numbers. So that's when you really have to differentiate yourself between, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't going to do good business. However you want to be involved with it is another kettle of fish. I don't want to be involved with it, but I do respect the fact that it's going to do big numbers. It's just not boxing. And I don't think we should promote it as boxing.
In the meantime then, Eddie, where does that leave you with Anthony Joshua? Are you exploring other options for the end of this year, or are you still looking at that fight forward?
Yeah, no, we're not interested in the Jake Paul fight right now. After that, I mean, we're not going to wait around till November. Is it November or December, whenever it is, and see how he gets on. I mean, if he gets chinned by Gervonta Davis, we can't exactly make the Anthony Joshua fight.
Former champion Paulie Malignaggi offers a more pragmatic take on the fight, reminding fans that it shouldn't be confused with an official boxing match, it's entertainment. He notes that there's no betting, no impact on rankings, and no lasting consequences for either fighter's career. To him, this bout resembles a modern exhibition, designed to entertain rather than to push professional boundaries. Malignaggi stresses that fans should view it as a spectacle, not a competition. His perspective echoes the concerns of purists who believe boxing is drifting toward showmanship at the expense of integrity. Yet, his honesty also acknowledges the sport's evolution, where charisma and promotion often outweigh championships and legacy.
And when I watch it, I just think he's fighting opponents that, are not with it anymore or are too small for him or whatnot. But in this situation, it is an exhibition. So you've got to keep in mind that this could be set up. This could be like WWE. This one could be set up. I don't know. I'm not saying it is, but this is not a sanctioned fight, champ. This is an exhibition. And an exhibition means you cannot bet on it. You cannot bet on the result. If you remember, this is why they changed the Mike Tyson fight from an exhibition to a real fight, because they realized, an exhibition, you could stage it and they couldn't take bets on it. So this is an exhibition. There is no betting on it. So that means, I'm going to say, people are going crazy with the opinions, who's going to win, who's going to lose. You don't know what size gloves they're going to wear. You don't even know if they're going to stage the whole thing, because this is something that, as an exhibition, it's not illegal to stage it. So I think this could be all kinds of crazy, wacky stuff. This is a bit of a circus, in my opinion.
Who would you think should win that fight? Would you think that Davis should be able to get in there, even though the size is 100 pounds? Do you think he should be able to do it?
If they don't stage it and don't kind of set up a sort of a mild sparring session, I'd say Davis has a chance, depends on the size of the gloves. Because here's the thing, Jake is probably 100 pounds bigger than the guy. That's a lot of weight, bro. You've been in a boxing ring, that still counts. And if you make the gloves small, Gervonta could technically hurt Jake even if he hits him. But the problem is, the gloves are small, Jake could also hurt Gervonta, because Gervonta's so small. So you make the gloves big, and then really, who's got an advantage? I don't know. Technically, Gervonta's a lot better boxer. He's so much smaller. I've stood next to Jake. Jake's a big guy. It's like I said, it's a bit of a circus freak show, and that's why I don't put it out of the question that this exhibition could be a bit staged in the ring.
Wade Plemons of the Wade Concept describes Jake Paul as a master manipulator who wields fame and ego like weapons. Jake isn't just about throwing punches, he plays psychological games, drawing opponents into his world. He knows how to create tension, provoke reactions, and transform challenges into viral spectacles. According to Wade, Jake enticed Gervonta Davis into this fight with the lure of wealth, attention, and massive financial incentives, making it nearly impossible for Tank to turn it down. Jake's confidence and marketing savvy elevate each bout into a global event, proving that his true victories extend beyond the ring to controlling the narrative before and after the fight.
Also, and again, Jake's only been boxing for 5, 6, 7 years now. It isn't necessarily far-fetched to try to have his own advantages when trying to fight other boxers that have been far more experienced than him. But this one's a little too much, right? This one is crazy because of the massive weight difference. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But again, as far as a sport fight is concerned, I want to make sure I make that clear. Again, it's not me hating on it, because I do think that both guys have been very upfront with what they're doing in this fight. and what their goals are with these kind of events. But the narrative Jake's trying to create is if this is like proving anything for him fighting a real fighter when Gervonta is so much smaller than he is. It'll prove something in the fact that Jake is willing to put on great events, but it won't prove anything to the people that are asking him to fight him. I will say, though, if Jake goes out and flatlines Gervonta, the casual audience that will say Gervonta smokes Jake completely and utterly, like it wouldn't even be close, that will change their minds a little bit. Not the people that know boxing, but the people that are going to watch this, the casual viewer that know the name Gervonta Davis and know the name Jake Paul. If he is to compete with Gervonta at all or look good in that fight, people will in some way accept it. Or they'll do the other thing where they just say the fight's real, which has never been the case, but you get what I'm saying. What Jake is doing is trying to convince a casual audience that he belongs in the ring with bigger names. He's able to hurt Gervonta at all. That might actually do it.
Amid all the hype and spectacle, Gervonta Davis is treating this fight as a serious test. Sources close to his camp describe him as disciplined, focused, and rigorously prepared. His sparring sessions with noticeably larger partners highlight his commitment to confronting the physical challenge head-on. Observers at his press events have remarked on his calm demeanor and unwavering focus, undistracted by the surrounding noise. For Davis, this isn't about fame or theatrics, it's about demonstrating that skill and precision can triumph over size and showmanship. The fight is deeply personal, a chance to defend boxing's technical integrity while pushing himself to the limits both physically and mentally.
In the press conference, and you can tell, you can just look at him and tell, like, no, this dude he's gonna get this money for sure, because there's so much money out there to be had. But Jake Paul better be not playing around, man. Not get cute, not play any games, don't hit him in the back of the head, don't rabbit punch him, don't do any of that stuff, man, because Mike Tyson, first of all, Mike Tyson, a lot of people think Mike Tyson was pulling punches on Jake Paul, and a lot of people think that Anderson Silva was pulling punches on him too. You're not going to have a little Gervonta out there pulling punches on you, man, if you're out there playing games. So, I don't like the fight at all. However, as far as it being an entertaining situation, I almost guarantee you that fight itself is going to be entertaining. That it's going to be something that you look at and you're going to say, man, everybody's going to watch it. Everybody's going to want to know what happens in it. But at the same time, it's kind of like what people think, when you see a car crash, like you're driving down the road and all of a sudden the traffic gets heavy and you're like, man, I'm going to be in traffic for a long time. And then you drive forward a little bit and then you see, oh man, this is some accident on the other side of the road and everybody just slowing down to watch. That's the type of entertainment that you can expect from this fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. There's going to be a lot of people watching it, but I got to say, man, you really can't blame the guy on what he's doing. And there's a lot of criticism flying on Gervonta Davis. It's not Gervonta Davis's fault that boxing took this turn. This turn of these exhibition fights and people not caring about the belts and all of that stuff.